We are discussing about the HANA Studio administration tabs. So the parameter changes, the trace configurations, diagnosis files, logs review. So status of the all this process. If this process are green, so no issues, everything is okay, then we don't have any issues with the system. If something wrong with this system, memory utilization or CPU utilization is very high, then there is a problem that we need to investigate. So yesterday also, when I attended one of the pure HANA based interview, so they asked about the this performance tab. How will you investigate in case HANA is very slow? How will you investigate? How to check which one is taking very longer time? Like how many sessions are open, threads, are there any jobs are in progress? So what is the, how will you check and how will you investigate it? What are the logs you will check? These are the questions they ask in the during the interview point of time. And I answered like, so in the performance tab, we have the options like sessions and threads. Here we can find out how many sessions are opened, and in that sessions, what is the long run, what is the long duration of the sessions, long running sessions and threads. And also I can also check the traces in the trace config in the trace directory diagnosis files. In the diagnosis files, I can check the trace configuration. So in the trace configuration, so in the, sorry, in the diagnosis files, I can check the index server trace and everything here. So index server. So all those things I can cross check. So, and I will try to find out the errors and everything. I like that I answered it. And also he asked about the HANA, pure HANA admin interview. It's not the SAP base, also pure HANA admin. So one of the company, I think it's a Birla Soft, I think. These are the questions they asked, right? So that's why you need to clearly, so whatever, each and every point is important. Each and every point which are discussing now. What is the use of the index server? What is the use of the index server usage? So then all the information is very, very, very important here, right? All the informations are very important, right? That's why you need to check that one. So now let's start about the, after the HANA Studio administration part is completed. HANA Studio administration part is completed. Now, what happened? Okay. So HANA Studio, the administration part is completed. So we have the one more thing is like a, so delta merge. There is a one theoretical topic that is called the, so delta merge and save point interval. Okay. So delta merge. Delta merge. So what is mean by delta merge concept in the HANA database, right? So in the HANA DB here, so normally, so this is the our HANA system. Okay. In this HANA system, so we have the RAM memory. This is the RAM slot here. So this is the RAM slot where the our HANA database. So this is the RAM slot here, right? So these are the file systems. We have the OS level disk storage as well here. OS level disk storage. This is one of the internal concept. This is one of the internal concept. This is one of the internal concept. So this is one of the internal concept actually. Okay. So let me check by the network cost switch. Okay. So this is one of the internal concept here. Here we don't know this will be done by the SAP analysis in the internal process. In the internal process, it will happen in the systems here, internal process here. So as part of this concept here, what will happen here as part of this concept? Okay. So as part of this concept, what will happen? So all the data will come to the in the main memory. So from outside to the, this is the RAM slot, right? This is the RAM. This is the RAM slot here. This is the, so RAM, right? Physical memory. This is the disk storage here, disk storage here. In the disk storage, we have, so slash HANA data and slash HANA and log folders we have. Slash HANA data and log folder is have. This is the disk, means storage level. File systems, normally disk, OS level. In the Windows level, we will call as the disk, and the Linux level storage. So file systems. So multiple synonyms. Okay. So here, what will happen here? Whenever the data comes here, the data will store into the RAM memory only. But in the RAM memory also, so first the RAM memory has divided into the two types here. In the RAM memory also, the RAM memory is divided into the two types here. So one is the, so the one is the delta storage. One is the delta storage. RAM memory is divided into the two types here. Second one is the main storage here. Main storage here. So why the RAM memory is divided into the two types? Okay. So all the queries, whatever the data is committing or ready to commit is not committed. So all the transactions will execute in the delta storage here. Delta storage here. So once the transaction is committed, then data will go to the main storage. Once the transaction committed, then only the data will go to the main storage here, right? In the RAM memory also, directly it will not store into the RAM memory. In the RAM memory, means your physical memory is divided into the two types, right? One is the DS and second one is the MS, right? So delta storage and main storage. So any data or any data which is coming to the database level, so it's the HANA. HANA means it will not store into the disk level. It will store into the, it's the non-HANA databases, SQL Server, Oracle, other databases will store the data into, so storage level, means file system level it will storage. But here this is the HANA database, means RAM memory level here. RAM memory level it will store the data here. Okay. So what will happen? Data will, when it comes to the outside to the your HANA database, first it will store the data into the, in the delta storage. In the delta storage. So delta storage is optimized for the, delta storage is optimized for the, so read, so delta storage is optimized for the, so read plus write plus compression mechanism. Means if the 2 GB data is coming, so it will not, the 2 GB data will not store into the main memory. It will be compressed. If you have the one folder, 2 GB folder, when you right click it and when you zip it or rar it, then what will happen? The size will be reduced. General scenario, right? Size will be reduced to the, so somewhat level it will be reduced. Same as like here, whenever the data is coming, so the delta merge, the size will be reduced here. The delta merge, the size will be reduced to the read plus write plus the compression mechanism, right? That is called the delta storage. In the delta storage level, the size will be the reduced here. So then once the transactions, that the temporary everything will be executed here. If the transaction, if condition here, if the, if the transaction executed, transaction committed means completed, then only the data, the committed data, then only the committed data will go to the main storage. But main storage operate, why? Because you cannot directly execute data, directly will not go to the main storage. Why? Because main storage optimized for read plus compression mechanism only. There is no write mechanism. Means the humans or systems are directly, we cannot write into the main storage. So here we have the, here delta storage is there. First data will be executed here, then it will go to the, so main storage. In the main storage is optimized for the read and compression mechanism. Again, when the data comes to the here, here also the compression mechanism will be used. So here HANA by default there is a 10x compression technique. 10 times it will be reduced here, 10x. The compression technique, it will be used here, HANA by default. So little bit data, the original data to the after the compression data, it will be reduced, the size will be reduced. Why? Because in the HANA license is based upon the main memory. HANA license is based upon the main memory. How much memory you are using, we need to purchase that much of license. We need to purchase that much of license in the HANA database level here, right? So that is the one thing here. So delta storage to main storage here, right? It's a read and compression mechanism is there here, right? So once the data is committed, then only it will go to the here. Sir, you mentioned like HANA is a volatile memory. My volatile memory means RAM is the volatile memory. Saving the data is only in the RAM memory. It's a dangerous. Why? Because when you restart the system, whatever the data is there in the RAM memory, all the data will gone. All the data will gone here. So that is the very dangerous activity, dangerous one. So that is the reason what will happen whenever the data storage will happen, the first data will go to the delta storage, main storage. So the process of committed data is moving from DS to MS is called the delta merge. So the delta storage data is merging with the main storage after committing the transaction. This process flow is called the delta merge operations. Delta merge operations, right? That is the delta merge. Sir, you told that main memory is the volatile memory. One data is saving here. Then whenever the any restart happens, then HANA will be, all the data will be gone, right? No. So once the data is reached to the main storage, then same data will go to the operating system level. So in the data folder level, in the operating system level, the data folder level, it will go to the data folder level, right? Same data will go to the data folder level here. Same data will go to the data folder level here. Sir, what is this mechanism? Is there any one person is moving the data from this bucket to this bucket? No, that is the internal mechanism. So what is the internal mechanism when it will be moved here? So that is the every 15 minutes, by default is the every 15 minutes. So the save point will happen. So what is the save point here? So delta merge and save point here. So every table here. So actually this is the each and every table here. This will happen for each and every table here, which means every table we have the delta storage and the main storage. Why? Because the all the tables data will store into the RAM memory only, right? So once the data come to the here, then it will go to the main storage. Then main storage too, this will happen in the data folder level here. So there is a save point mechanism will happen. Save point mechanism means the process of moving the data from the main storage to the disk. The process of moving the data from main storage to the disk is called the save point. Okay. The interval of the save point mechanism is every 15 minutes once. So once the data is reached to the here, then if after the 15 minutes, the data will go to the data folder level. So we have the data, same copy of data is here. Then we have the same copy of data is also here. So storage level. So in case of HANA restart happens, in case of HANA restart is HANA restarted due to some issues. So what will happen here in case of HANA restart happens here? So whatever the data is there here, whatever the data is there here, same data will be reloaded to the main memory. Whenever the HANA restart happens, so same data will be reloaded. Same data will be reloaded to the main memory here. This is called the save point level. Whenever you do the restart, right? Normally, if you do the restart, what will happen? Data, whatever the data, whenever you stop the HANA database or restart, what will happen? So HANA, whatever the data is there in the RAM memory, everything will be gone. We have seen this type of symptoms we have seen. So when you before the restart of the main memory, then after we stopping the HANA database, so it's coming to the zero, which means the user memory is coming to zero, which means HANA is storing the data into RAM main memory, so it's coming to the zero. So which means there is no data. Then when you start the HANA database, it's taking some time, right? So you observe when you start the HANA database, suppose like so. Let me see. I think system got restarted. So here when we one minute, let me start. Okay, I started it. It will take some time. Okay, so then, so when you restart the HANA database, when you execute the HANA DB start command, when you starting the HANA database, what will happen here? So, but RAM memory, there is no data. So what will happen here? Whatever the data is there here, all the data will reloaded. All the data will be reloaded from here to here. It will be reloaded. So again, data will be back to normal status after the restart in the main memory. How means? So internally, these are the internal process. No one help here. Only internal process here. Internally, this will happen. Internally, this will happen here. Delta storage to the main storage. The internal process will help here. Okay. That is the delta storage, delta merge, and save point interval here. So when you are starting the HANA database, what will happen here? So this is also very important. Why HANA restart? HANA while starting the HANA database, it will take time. Also, they may ask you, so how the data will be reloaded? There is a lot of data, right? So row store tables, column store tables, code. So then how the data will be again loaded to the main memory, right? So what will happen when you start the HANA database first? The row storage tables will be loaded first, will be loaded. So then secondary indexes, this sequence is very important. Secondary indexes will be created. Secondary indexes will be created. The third one is so column store tables will be loaded. Column store tables means business tables will be loaded. Business tree column store tables so loaded. Then the fourth point is like here. Then so uh, roll forward will happen. Roll forward. Then the fifth means is the roll forward and the roll back. Roll back statements will happen. So first of all, when you click the HANA database start button here, so first of all the configuration tables will be loaded first. Configuration tables means row store tables, right? Then secondary indexes will be created, that is common. Then column store tables. First, which tables, how the data will be loaded? Is the all the data will be loaded in the bulk from disk storage to the main storage, or is there any order? Yeah, this is the order you should remember, right? HDB start. So which means whenever you start the HANA database, first row store tables will be loaded first, then secondary indexes will be created, then column store tables will be loaded, then roll forward and roll back statements will happen. Roll forward means the transaction which is successfully completed, but it's not saved into the disk storage level. So the roll forward will happen here, right? Roll back means the transaction is not committed. You just selected the ticket. Then when you are going to the payment order, the system got down, the timed out, you got it, your transaction is not completed. So that will happen, the rollback will happen here. Rollback will happen here, right? So roll forward means you have booked the ticket, you got the order, so you booked the ticket, confirmation you got it, but you have not received the email attachments. The confirmation is not received or it's not saved into the database level. During that time, database is down. So when we start the database, so system will roll forward the all the statements which are committed. Then that again will be stored into the main memory, and again it will come to the data folder level. So normally we will find this type of situation sometimes, right? Whenever you are booking the tickets or order, payment or anything, you went to the IRCTC or you selected the train, you selected the window seat and you done the pay, you selected it, go to the payment online. Then sometimes what will happen, so we would done the payment, while coming the ticket confirmation, system got down, you got the 500 internal server or error or something, you got it, then you assume like your amount got deducted, you are not sure whether the ticket is generated or not, you are in the worry situation. So what will happen if you wait for 10 to 15 minutes? So there is a roll forward, roll back statements will happen. When you call the customer care also, they will say like, sir, wait for some time. You will get the, so you will get the response, right? What will happen in the back end? If any uncommitted transactions are committed transaction, that roll forward, roll back will happen, right? So when the, so then it will go to the ticket already booked, but confirmation side got means it will go forward and it will save into the database level. Just you done the payment, ticket is not booked means amount is deducted, but ticket is not booked means what will happen? What will happen? Again, again your amount will be credited to the your account. That is called the rollback statements. Roll forward, rollback statements here. So that will happen when you are starting the HANA databases here. So this is about the delta merge here, right? Delta merge means the process of moving the data from here to here and here to here. So let me show you what exactly the happens in the database level. We can see it, but we cannot perform. These are the manual things, not the manual things here. It's a kind of automated kind of functionalities here. These all are the automated functionalities here. Automated functionalities means automatically this will run by system internal process. These all are the system internal process here. So let me show you it, but we can see it, the logs and everything, we can see it at operating system level. Operating system level, we can see that one, operating system level. So we can see, so what's happening in the system level and everything, we can perform it. So I will show you here. So just you can go to the here. So here, go to the SAP Linux one. Suppose like now system got restarted. Okay, system got restarted here. We need some updates. Okay, so here system got updated here. So restarted. So, but let's see. So free -G. Here you have the 1 GB used memory. So which means something, some internal process, that is fine. So now go to the RKR So database here. So what is happening? It's an HDB space info. Then you see, so nothing is there here. So then now when you are just going to start the database here, HDB start. Okay. Now you are doing the HDB start means what will happen when you start the database, the data will be reloaded to the main memory here. So we can observe it here. We can observe it here. Let me take the one more duplicate session to check the logs. So all the HANA logs will be stored at operating system level in the trace directory. In the trace directory, the logs will be stored here. We go to the H. So RKRADM, then cd trace in the trace directory. If we go to the, so let me first of all start it, HDB start it now. It is starting. immediately it won't start it. So it will take time. Why? Because we know the reason why it's taking time. Why? Because so while starting the database, the data will be loaded first, right? Go to CD, then there is a RKR. There is a one database RKR here, right? One tenant database is there. So here you can see there is a load option. Loads will happen, right? So loads means data is loading. That is the one. Using the tail command, we can see it here what's happening in the database level. First of all, the row store tables means system configuration tables will be loaded, right? So let's see here. We can see the so now data. Now we can see the logs will get moved it here, right? What is the last log? So 633. This is the last log which got moved it here. If you see here, keep on observing. So it's getting moving now. The data will get moved to the system here. So it is starting mode.
So this happens every 15 minutes, sir, or
No.
because of
Whenever you do the restart of the HANA system, so whenever you are starting the HANA data, tables will be loaded from reverse order. So reverse order means from data folder to main memory data will be loaded. That is reverse order will happen. But the save point will happen from every 15 minutes. Once the database started, once you've done the any transaction will come to the database level in the main memory, but main memory is the temporary memory only. But so what will happen once the data is reached to the here, then after the 15 minutes, it will go to the data folder level. Permanently, it will go to the data folder at operating system level. It will save the data here, right? That will happen. So, but here we can see it. So the data loading part, we can see it here. So the loading the data here, we can observe it here, right? So just if you observe the log files and everything, the loads will happen. The loads will happen into the database level. First of all, system tables. So roll forward, roll back, everything will happen. I think it's moving, right? So see here how the data is loading now. So these all are the tables. These all are the tables here. The tables data. The tables data is getting moved here. So it will move it. So the bulk data is moving. See here, I selected the one of the schema. It is getting moved. So means data is loading. Data is loading here. Let me select. This is the one of the table. So select it here. So see here, the data is getting loaded here. So whatever the data is there, everything will come to the normal status here. Once everything is done, still you are starting only, but data is loading to the main memory now. What will happen? Loads means it's loading to the main memory. What is the transaction ID? It is happened. Every transaction, there is a transaction ID, statement ID, the transaction, what is the table name. So all the information is getting loaded to the main memory. All the information is getting to the main memory here. So once it is completely removed, data already set, then you will get the prompt like it started something like that. You will get the prompt here. So then now when you check the free -G here, what will happen? Now used memory is the 6 GB. Means here previously before starting the HANA database, you have the 1 GB. Then when you start the HANA database, then 5 GB data got moved it here. 5 GB data got moved it here. So what happened here? So the data loaded. So all the information got loaded here, right? That's what will happen in the HANA database level here, right? When you see the traces, index server trace. Why? Because index server is the main important thing here. Why? Because all the data will resides inside of the index server only. So then if you go to the index server trace file here, so in the trace directory, so then you will come to know the, so it's done. So now you will come to know. So the save point mechanisms and all the information you will come to know here. You will get the message here. So now, so what will happen every 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So Also, we can increase it, but by default, every 15 minutes once or every 15 minutes. So some people they will say like 10 minutes. So they will change it. But default one is the 15 minutes. The save point will happen. The save point will happen here. Right? So now data is loaded, right? HANA database started. Now, if you wait for some time, the save point will happen now. Save point will come now. But we can see the previous logs. If any previous logs, nothing. So if you wait for some time, you will say like save point timelines and save point ID will happen. So that's what we can see here in the database level, save point level.
Sir, every other log also will be in the same path only, right?
The
Like even any.
all the tenant related tenant means index server access engine generated log files are here only. So otherwise we can go to the ANA Studio diagnosis files. There also we can check it out. Same logs are available at operating system level. Same logs are available in the like studio level also. Studio also pulling the data from here. So same logs are available here as well.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So just I'm checking the save point. What is the save point when it will run? It's done only. We have to wait for the time. Now it's a 7 o'clock. 7. So 1900, which means 7. So then, so 17:15, 15 minutes, someone, let's wait for the 2 more minutes. What is the interval it's configured? I think every 5 minutes or 15 minutes it's configured. Let's see, save point interval. Yes, save point. You can see here the save point. Save point, next save point version is the, so you can see the next save point version. The currently one save point is happened at the, so 1914, 1904, the save point is happened here, right? So 1904, the save point is happened. So what will happen here? Save point means the current save point version is the 467. The next source save point version is the 468. So when it will happen, right? Now we will get the clear picture here. So 19474. So I think it's every 15 minutes or some 5 minutes. Let's see. Some organizations they will change it to the 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that here. So why? Because if you wait for 15 minutes, data will come to the here to here. Then once the in the within this 15 minutes, some data reach to the here, but some data is here. So but whenever during this 15 minutes time something is happened, again to recovering the data may take some time. So that's the reason sometimes they will shorten the, so save point interval to the 5 minutes or something like that. They will do that one, right? So let's keep this one. We will come to know what is the next version here. It will come to this point here, right? So meanwhile, let me open HANA Studio. Save point. So we no need to perform any actions here. System automatically will take care of the save point interval and everything here. System will perform internal actions. So that's why no one tell about this concept, but internally it will happen. How the data is moving. Sir, RAM is the temporary memory level. When you restart the system, normally in the laptops also, when you restart the system, all the data will be gone, right? So then whatever the data, but ANA is the RAM, ANA is the in-memory storage. Means in the RAM level, all the business data is storing. Then you have the 1 terabyte data will be gone when you do the start stop. But how that again data is coming to the here means again it will be reloaded. So when you start the HANA database from data folder to here, again data will be reloaded to the main memory first. That will happen. Any errors or anything, it will detect here. So HANA Studio. So that's fine.
Sir, this log which you checked, right, in CD trace, will the same thing can be seen in var temp also?
No. Where temp is the different one. Where temp is for the during the installation logs and upgrade logs only we can see it in the where temp. But normal other daily operations log and each and process related logs and all, so we can see it in the CD trace only, HANA trace only.
Okay. What about system DB, sir?
System DB also, everything is here only, CD trace. So here 3-G, you can see 6 GB used, means 6 GB data, HANA data, RKR SAP HANA database data will staying in HANA memory only. In memory only it is storing the data here. In memory level, it is storing the data here. Right, so the data is storing here. Right, so that is the one. I think one more save point happened. Right, yeah, every 5 minutes, it's not the 15 minutes, so every 5 minutes it will happen, right? Here 19.4 here it's happened, then after the 5 minutes it is happened here, means every 5 minutes once the save point will happen here. It's not the 15 minutes here. So every 5 minutes once here, small correction, it's a every 5 minutes once the log backup will happen. So then that is the every 15 minutes. So, but save point interval every 5 minutes. So the data will be moved to the here. So the committed data will come to the here. So then after that, daily we will take the backups. Daily we will take the data for data backups and the log backups will happen by the system here. Then after that, sir, in the suppose like if the disk also crashed, if the main memory also crashed, then we have the data here. But this is also crashed. That's why we will take the daily backups, right? Daily backups to the some other devices, tapes, everything we are taking, right? Daily backups we are taking. In the external storage level, we are storing here. Here we are storing the data, right? We are taking the daily backup of daily midnight. We will take the backup of the data folder. Then we will move to the some other devices. We will move it here, right? Why? Because this is the main external devices here. Why? Because within the same network, if you store it same system, what will happen? If the system is crashed and their hardware is crashed, this external data, this one, everything is crashed. That's why you are storing in the external. External means it's outside of the network. So that entire your hardware or entire your data center is crashed. You have the data in the external, then you can bring back the data to the here, then you can restore it, restore and everything we can perform it. How the backups and all we can do that one. That's why we can take the external devices, Tivoli, some external storages. There the multiple storages are there. So we can use those storages. We can store the data. We can store the data here. We can store it. That's the so mechanism will happen here, right? So that is the one will happen in the systems here. So this process will happen internally by system itself only. You don't need to do anything, but we need to keep watching whether save point is happening or not by every 5 minutes or not. So okay, system is performing well, so then no issues here. That's what will happen in the systems here. So whenever you do the transaction or something, you done it now, any changes you have done it, so first it will store into the main memory only. Then after some time it will go to the disk level. It will go from here to here, it will store the data here. Well, because from here it is missed, we have the data here. Here it is missed, we have the daily backup. So that in the backup, some other devices, it will store the data. So which means 3 layers, we have the data. Securely, we are storing the data here. One is the main memory level, same copy here in the disk storage level, same copy in the external storage level. We have 3 layers, we are copying the data here, right? That's why, because this is the main data, database level, all the finance data. So everything will be stored into the here itself only, right? Database level. Suppose like if you see the banking servers data, banking data, ICICI Bank or storage, any other bank servers, so they have the every data. So every bank they have the own server, right? Banking servers. So all the servers they store the data into the here. If you are connected to the banking servers, then we have the applications, our servers, but they will not provide the database level access to us. Why? Because we know what to do. If they provide the database access, that is offline. That is the offline discussion.